welcome to the Gen X Talk podcast. I am Mike, and joining me today at first base is JB, aka Jeremy.
Yo.
And over on third base is Jab Shakur.
What's going on, Mike?
And we got some deep stuff to talk about today, so let's get right into it and let's eat. What's up?
Let's eat. Okay, well, what's the topic for today?
Today we are talking about life imitating art and if hip-hop music is to blame for inner-city violence.
Oh, man, that's going to be real deep. But real quick on Let's Eat, I got something. There's a woman out there. Her name is Amanda Gorman. I want to give her a shout-out. She is the author of a book called The Hill We Climb. Also, this book, it has the title of this book is also the same as a poem that she read during the 2021 inauguration for Joe Biden. And, man, she's a pretty deep sister, man. She, I don't know her exact age. She appears to be pretty young.
27, 28.
Yeah, but what the thing is, her book has been banned in like some Miami schools. So there's a Miami school and they've banned it, and because of a parent. And what's so deep about this is there's a parent who claims they never even read her book. Never even read it.
What's it about?
She's speaking about just the trials and tribulations of people, what we've overcome as black people. And you all go check her out, because it'll be better if people check her out and get there. I don't really want to give an opinion on her myself, but I will say that basically she was curriculum in the school districts and it was banned. And I think it goes along with the culture, with the topic today, because we're talking about hip hop and if it's to blame for violence. And here's something where this is not exactly hip hop, but it's poetry. And poetry is an art, and rap is an art, and hip hop is an art, and it's basically poetry. And this is actually something that I would say is more positive far as nonviolent, but yet it was still by one person considered a hate speech. She's just talking about, you know, what black people overcome from slavery, black women. I think it's very uplifting. And now she donated like, I want to say like 2,000 to 3,000 copies of her poem to people outside of the school, so that people who still wanted it, but it was actually being allowed, like curriculum taught in school, and was banned. So I want to give a shout out to her and just shed some light on her. Her name is Amanda Gorman. You all can look her up on Facebook, look her up on Instagram. I actually saw her. I was actually in the gym working out, and it just came up on CNN, and I just seen them speaking about it, and I was like, oh man, I hadn't even heard about it, and I was just reading it across the screen. It's like, oh man, that'll go with this week's topic.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we do. You know, tell them, JB, you were just talking a little while ago, we were talking about you with this background and this camera stuff, and we were speaking about how, you know, just off the dome or just things that are going on right now.
Oh, yeah, no, we're off the cuff, you know. Y'all like my backdrop?
I don't mind it. I mean, it looks cool. I haven't seen what it looks like on screen yet.
Y'all can let us know if you all like it.
Jab said, you know what, I don't really care for it, but it's you.
Yeah. Jerry, we were just talking about JB and him.
That's all right.
He's a perfectionist.
Well,
yeah. I think that's the word.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments.
Let
me know if it goes along with my eye color.
My opinion is last week it was perfect, and then this week it needed to be switched just a little bit.
Yeah, you know, I try. I think, you know what I really think right now, though? The elephant in the room is, Mike, can you even focus right now?
Can I even focus right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can focus a little bit.
I'm more curious to know, did you have a wild night or just not so much?
I had a few drinks last night, and my body doesn't handle alcohol the way it used to, so I had a little trouble getting up this morning. Matter of fact, I barely remember waking up this morning.
It's funny because I saw Mike last night, and the last thing Mike said to me that I can remember clearly is he said, I'm about to go because I have to get up early in the morning and do a show.
Yeah.
And I was like, so do I, Mike. Like, he said it almost as if the way it was said to me is like he had to do something that I had no awareness of.
We all have the same show, that thing.
And he left. So today when Mike was not around, I was really surprised because I'm thinking Mike was being responsible last night. So I'm wondering, where did Mike really go?
No, I went home. I had one more drink, and that was the one that put me over. So
That's the way it goes.
yeah,
You know?
I want to throw something out real quick right now because this week, the legend of the Earth, the Iron Sheik, passed away. And
Dude, he did.
Yeah.
He did.
I'm gonna ask you a question. Is it Iron Sheik or Iran?
Iron.
Like iron, like muscle
Steel,
iron
like,
steel?
yeah.
Yeah, Steel.
Oh, okay.
Iron Sheik. You know, I got a story about him.
Yeah?
Dude, seriously. Before I moved in our neighborhood, up until I was about 8 or 9 years old, I lived in Bedford, Texas. You know, Mid-Cities, Texas, right? Or outside Fort Worth. Everyone knows. Anyhow, I was at the Albertsons off Central Drive. You know what I mean? Central right off 183.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a kid. And one day I was there hanging out with my mom. I say hanging out, but I'm getting groceries. And there he was, the Iron Sheik. He just walked in, and that was being the height of his fame back in the 80s, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was in there, and everybody was shaking his hand and everything. And I was just so enamored with this guy because back then, you know, I don't know how tall, 4 foot tall or something, but he was gigantic. But he was so nice. He talked to us and was real friendly, and I haven't talked to him since.
I mean,
but damn.
Everyone who's ever met him has said that he's like the sweetest guy around. And if you ever see his Twitter profile, that shit was hilarious. Every day he's like, fuck the Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan.
He's like, go fuck yourself all the time. He's like, picture an American kid who doesn't really learn Spanish, just learns all the cuss words, and then moves to Mexico.
Yeah.
That's the Iron Sheik. It's like
Iron Sheik.
I know a lot of Hispanic kids that way.
Yeah, he was never completely fluent in English, but he knew all the cuss words.
Yeah.
Damn.
And I mean, his Twitter was funny as shit, and he used to tweet every day. That's what I'm gonna miss the most.
The Iron Sheik. You know what, dude? You know what? I thought of a business idea. This is crazy. I don't know if you guys think this is cool or not. And if it exists, let me know. Death messages. What if what we did as a business, deathmessages.com or afterlifemessages.com or something like that. Free idea for those ambitious people, by the way. Fuck you if you steal it in advance. Anyway, so imagine that eventually we're all going to die. And imagine if it was Iron Sheik or whomever, and you went and you pre-programmed all these messages to people you love to continue to go out to them at a regular set time so they could always have a sense of you and a feeling of you. Even people you haven't met. Maybe there's a granddaughter, grandson, or great-grandchild, and you want to give your wisdom, or you want to, is that crazy?
Yeah. Notice nobody cares.
Yeah. Really?
No. Who's going to sit up and program messages? So right now, you're not planning on dying. You're going to program messages?
I would. If I had, yeah, I'll be honest with you, because
I'm doing it. I'm doing it right now, as a matter of fact.
I'm doing it on YouTube.
I make videos. I have a whole collection of videos that are on a flash drive that whenever I do die, I don't want an actual funeral, but whatever type of service you do, I'm going to play all those videos.
Okay,
and it's just
so where's
me.
the business going to come from in this?
I don't think there is a business
I'm
because
saying.
anyone can do it.
How you make money?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll tell you the business model. I got you.
Yeah, no, we don't want it on the show. We want to talk about hip-hop.
Okay, you're right.
I'm
Yeah.
just playing.
You know what?
It's going to be another 20 minutes.
But imagine if these were these, like, even hip-hop rappers and people from the day. You know, can you imagine if
they had their lyrics.
They have to have like this. The way they make money, the way you continue to make money is, number one, they got to pay an upfront fee. It could be pretty handsome. Number two, there's a residual fee that could be paid and managed through the estate.
Well, there y'all go.
Yeah.
We got a new business.
Or I could get the government to help pay for some of it because, the motherfuckers want in.
We're going to say you're right.
I'll be their best client. A lot of tax dollars.
Oh, y'all hear that? People barely want to pay for life insurance. I don't know. I guess it just depends on the community.
Mm.
Well, rest in peace, Iron Sheik.
Rest in peace, Iron Sheik.
I thought his name was the Iran Sheik. I thought it was. I thought we probably just were saying his name wrong as kids. And when I got older, he looked like somebody from Iran.
He is from Iran.
That's why I thought it might have been Iron Sheik, and we just, being country or from the hood, might have said.
You know what? To me, it'll always be Iron Sheik.
It is Iron Sheik.
I believe you guys that it is. I just said, I thought we were just saying it incorrectly all those years.
Yeah, here it is.
Oh, no.
The Iron Sheik.
Yeah, but he is from Iran, which makes it a little bit ironic that back in the day when he did his wrestling angle with Sergeant Slaughter and Skandor Akbar. They all claimed to be from Iraq. Mm-hmm. But it was cool. So, anyways, let's move on. And all right, there's a story that I want to tell you guys. Have you ever heard of the secret meeting of hip hop?
No.
Okay, this is a rumor.
To be fair, I barely heard of hip hop, so
okay.
Y'all got to like me in general.
All right, well, we got you today. So, in hip hop, there's a story about a secret meeting that happened in the early 90s.
Right.
And I want to get into that, but first, I got to give you guys a little bit of American history. Okay. So after World War II, the United States of America got really gung-ho against communism. We went and we tried to overthrow every communist or socialist nation on the planet to make way for global capitalism. And in the late 70s and early 80s, one of those countries was Nicaragua. And the way we would overthrow a country was we would find other groups that were opposed to the government inside the country. We would fund them, we would arm them, and we would train them to take over the countries. And with Nicaragua, we started arming, funding, and training all these groups, and we called them the Contras. Mm-hmm. So eventually, Congress decided to stop funding it. But the Reagan administration and the CIA still wanted to take over Nicaragua, so they had to find new ways to raise money. Yeah. And the Contras, the rebels, they didn't really have any money, but what they did have was a shit ton of cocaine. Exactly. So what we did was we kept sending them weapons or whatever, and they sent to America tons and tons of cocaine. Exactly. Now, I'm not going to say that this was deliberate or a coincidence or whatever, but we all know where that cocaine ended up.
Yes.
As well as the knowledge to take that cocaine, cook it, mix it with a few other ingredients to turn it into tiny little rocks that you could sell in smaller amounts so more people could afford it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and it was a lot more addictive.
Yes.
And it was called crack.
So with that in mind, in the mid to late 80s, hip hop was kind of starting to really get big. And at that time, there was a huge diversity of hip hop. I mean, you had rappers who rapped about everything. You had social rappers, political rappers. You had comedy rappers. You had dancers who were rappers. You had all these different styles that were out there. And the gangster rap scene, it was just emerging, but it was still pretty niche at the time.
Right.
But there was a point in the early 1990s where on all the radio stations, all of those other forms of rap suddenly disappeared, and all you heard were the gangster rap music that promoted crime and promoted selling drugs, specifically crack cocaine.
Yeah, I remember.
And
so
I wouldn't have listened to
the 90s.
Yeah, it was like the
late 90s.
Early 90s. And it wasn't...
early 90s?
Yeah, it was the early 90s. It wasn't something that happened overnight.
Our topic again. What's the name of our topic again? I think that's real important.
Is hip-hop music responsible for inner-city crime and violence?
Yeah, we want to keep that on people's mind for the people just tuning in.
So the rumor has always been, and this has been going around since the early 2000s, that at some point in the early 90s, all of the production heads, all of the media heads got together, and they actually had a secret meeting and made a decision to promote gangster rap, promote rap that promoted violence, that promoted crime, that promoted drug dealing, and to phase out all other forms of rap.
How do you know that happened if it's secret?
How do we know?
I'm just trying to throw it out there. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, there have been lots of rumors online.
I'll tell you how I'll answer your question. Let me answer that. This is the answer to your question. The only true secret in this world is that there is no secret.
Okay. But how do you know the meeting happened?
But that's what I'm saying. The only secret that you know, the only true secret is there is no secret. So to answer your question is it wasn't a secret meeting. It was just a closed meeting that only select people knew about.
But this really happened though?
Yeah.
Like documented really happened?
There are people who have said that it happened.
It's just like anything else in life. It's just like, how do we know, that the president met with such and such? We don't really know that. They just told us on the news. So it's just like nothing you really know, you don't really know happened if you weren't there. You get what I'm saying?
No, I'm just curious, but I'm deep dive because this is all new to me. So I'm not y'all making me feel real white today. I just want to make some shit known. Okay, so that you know real quick.
What's actually the truth is actually there's probably more white people that know about this.
I think it's more white people that bought the cocaine.
Yeah, but like there's actually it's actually probably more closed information to the people who were affected by it more than the people who weren't.
You think there's a lot of like white executives?
I'm not even saying white executives. I'm just saying that there's people that, like when you say things like, "Oh, I feel white," there's actually more people that know about this that probably are white than people that are black.
Mm.
Yeah, because
how do you can't. If people were more aware, they wouldn't be able to be destroyed by things like this. And back to what you were saying, Mike, I wanted to go further back to the 70s because that's where hip hop really began, was in the 70s. So with the lyrics that you were talking about, I think that were positive were in the 70s. You had groups like the Sugar Hill Gang. You had Run DMC, late 70s, early 80s.
Public Enemy, KRS-One.
They were even coming. Yeah, Dougie Fresh.
We're talking 70s?
And in the
early 80s,
early 80s, late 70s, early
okay.
80s,
yeah.
like when it began. And another thing that everything you were saying was spot on. But another thing I want our listening audience to also remember, to go back to this, because when you talk about inner city and violence, because a lot of people are going to say, well, I listened to this and it didn't happen. It didn't happen to me, but you have to also remember what's going on culturally too. In the 70s, in the inner city, you had married families. You had families with a mother and father in the home. In the 80s, you start having more children that the fathers were coming out of the house for the same reasons that you just mentioned. Because you went to 90s, crack was in the 80s. So it was, 10 years off. So fathers were leaving the home, and you were a lot of single mothers in the home. And then by the time the 90s came, inner city children were being raised by their grandmother. Big Mama was raising us in the 90s. I believe the average inner city child, if you were to talk, and who they spend most of their time with, is with their grandmother. Would you agree?
I would say that it probably started in the 80s, but it became epidemic by the time the 90s came around. I'd say 91, 92.
Gangsta
that's
rap.
when, the entire negative culture became, I think, extremely prominent in the early 90s, late 80s.
That's when I seem to feel like it was feeling that way to me, but I don't really.
See that? I agree with you. I'm also just trying to shed some light on some other things. I just wanted to make sure that people also knew that in the 70s, in the inner city, you had majority married families, meaning a mother and father in the house. Statistics show this. In the 80s, the fathers were coming out of the house, whether they were going to prison, whether they were in the street selling crack, smoking crack, whatever the reason was. So then in the 80s, you had more mothers raising their children. By the 90s, you had the mothers also being involved in this stuff and coming to the house. And you had, I'm not going to say majority, but a lot higher amount of any inner city children being raised by their grandmother, meaning mama's in the streets, mama's in the club, mama's out here doing whatever. Daddy's out here too. Daddy's not around. So the children are now being raised by Big Mama, who's in a sense too old to be raising kids. The reason why I'm trying to paint this picture is because it's going to go along with when we're talking about did hip hop affect violence, because it wasn't just the hip hop, it was hip hop and a lot of other things put together by design.
Hip hop, the crack cocaine, and just the promotion and the dissolution of the family in the inner city.
Right.
So we had a secret meeting, and then what happened?
Well, it's believed that during this meeting, they decided to eliminate all these other forms of rap and focus on gangster rap, focus on rap that promoted crime. And, it seems like that wouldn't make sense, right? And that's one reason why I've been hearing this since 2003. I've heard it most recently, maybe a few months ago. I think Crazy Bone talked about it. He was like the biggest rapper that I've ever heard mention this secret meeting. But my thing is now, that most likely the government was involved, because the companies, they had nothing to gain from this, but the government does, because we know now with COVID, with Ukraine, that the U.S. government will definitely get involved with media companies and tell them what message that they want to promote, and they will eliminate any message contrary to what they want out there. Mm-hmm. We know this now. And back then, the government, back then, 90% of what you see or heard was controlled by 5 companies. Mm-hmm. So you didn't need that many people to hold this meeting. And with the government involved and the fact that they had a motive because they had all this cocaine that they wanted to distribute, I believe that there is a very high probability that all of this went down exactly as the rumor goes.
Oh, yes. Universal Music, Sony Music, and I think Warner are the owners of the head people of everything in hip-hop culture. And Universal owns 32%, Sony owns 20%, and Warner has 16%. If you add that all up, I think that equals 66% maybe, and I was told 68%. So if the major companies only own 68%, that still leaves another 32% to be owned by the government, or whoever.
It's interesting when you guys talk about the ownership and you talk about the secret meetings and the evolution. I can't help but think about the other side. Nancy Reagan, remember Just Say No?
Yes.
Like all these movies that came out about defeating gang violence. Or like, remember Lean on Me with Morgan Freeman? That show came out, and that was, they were really trying to combat what I think these people may have seen as an evolution of inner city gang violence, which, back in the day, rap, hip hop was supportive of that in their eyes. They were, back then, they thought that was a big issue. Like that type of music supported that type of culture.
Well, it's called what you have to do. It's no different than the same people who sell, the same government that sells you cigarettes have a responsibility to, on the back of the label, tell you all the bad things that cigarettes can do to you, yet they make a high percentage of tax dollars off cigarettes being sold. So it's the same thing. You just have the person. It's called throw a rock and hide your hand. So what you have is you have the same people that are actually behind this, set up to destroy a situation. But, we have to put so much awareness out to make it look like this is not what we want to happen. You have to remember that this is all, my view. It's targeted at a certain group of people. So when it's targeted at a certain group of people, of course you're going to have them speaking into other groups that you don't want this to be. Remember in Plano when we were kids around the 90s? Remember all those kids that were getting caught up in gang violence and X pills and taking drugs? Remember that? Remember it was happening? We were around middle school to high school.
Yeah, I remember it.
And if you were from any inner city, you knew people that were getting addicted to drugs since forever. Dying, addiction. I'm pretty sure you knew at least one person.
Oh, yeah.
If family members, whoever. And there was no big deal. But the moment it started affecting people in Plano, then there were massive task force. There were massive kick doors, Tuesdays and Thursdays on the south side, because they felt that the drugs from here were making it
into the other neighborhoods.
Yeah,
if one person OD'd in Plano, it led the news. If one person in Highland Park OD'd or got busted with heroin, it was a top news story. But at the same time, in Stop 6, everyone was strung out. And that wasn't news at all.
You know what? I can't help but wonder. I'd love to hear your opinion on this. Same with you, but we're talking inner city violence. But what about high society? How did, in addition to inner city, did high society get affected? Let's say by hip hop culture. With we talk about crack cocaine and the evolution. You think it? Huh?
Why don't you tell us?
Dude, I ain't gonna lie, I've never done crack in my life.
No.
Well, I haven't done crack either.
We haven't either, but you asked the question. Why don't you answer? Because I don't know.
I don't know, because I wasn't raised high society. Y'all know that. We lived on the same street,
Well, we're talking about inner city. I don't know.
No, but I'm just curious because we always think about inner city, but then we talk about, you mentioned when we listen to the evolution of, capitalism and
Let's
how
see who's
it
listening.
turned into cocaine, I can't help but wonder because most of the cocaine heads were the white people.
Yeah, I mean, the powdered cocaine, definitely.
But we're talking about crack.
And then with crack cocaine, you saw that in the inner city. And
Well,
like
what's
I
the
said,
difference? I don't even know. Honestly, I'm not trying to be stupid. What's crack versus cocaine?
I've never done either one, so I really don't know.
It's a lot. It's a cheaper version and form. It's a lot more addictive. And I'm gonna show you another thing. It's really the same thing. It's really like no different, far as illegal substances.
Yeah,
It's cocaine, baking soda, water.
that's crack.
But cocaine, baking soda, and water heated, and it forms a rock. And the difference is this: a person in the suburbs could get caught with an ounce of cocaine, which is roughly 28 grams of cocaine, and get probation. And a child 15, 16 years old can get caught with what's considered a gram of crack and can do 20 years in prison in the 90s.
That's
At
yeah.
16, 17 years old. Think about this.
That was the Reagan administration
At 16,
carryover. Yeah.
17 years old can
Yeah.
get tried as an adult
Yeah.
for a product that is no different than if a tea bag is cocaine and you add sugar and water and you boil it, or you boil it and then add sugar. That's the difference. That's the difference in crack and cocaine. And the illegal substance is that tea bag. But you can get caught with that tea bag and do no time.
Hey, I just want to shout out to all the people in the comments, and
Vicky
we're gonna get to you guys here
Kirk
in a
and
bit.
Tiffany,
But
Misty, how you doing? Amy,
Misty, Amy, and something that Amy
Renewed
brought up.
Candy, what's going on, everybody? We're
Misty,
listening to
Vicky,
I'm
Kurt,
looking
and
through
Tiffany.
the comments.
Something that Amy brought up
Misty.
is
Right.
a
Misty
big
said-
part of promoting
Wow.
the drugs and selling drugs is that most of the rappers that you saw, they claim that their success came from selling the drugs.
Yes, yeah, because we're talking about hip hop. You're right.
You know, you're talking about guys like Master P. You're talking about guys like Jay-Z. All these guys. I mean, you know, Tucker Carlson
Right.
will never let Jay-Z forget it. Former crack dealer Jay-Z. That's literally how he addresses them.
Yeah.
But the reality is, you know, it was promoted as if, hey, this is your road to success is through selling crack.
So how did it? So do you believe it's responsible or it's to blame for any inner city violence?
The crack cocaine,
No, the topic.
hip hop music.
Yes.
I think it was a tool in promoting the sale of
So that's
crack
yes.
cocaine. So yes, I do.
But I say yes too. But this is another thing. Like I said in the beginning, the reason I brought up the parent in the household and the things that were happening, because those series of things, it's how it affected it. See, if you had, this is the first thing we have to understand. This is what I taught my daughter, and I would tell you and anybody else. A hip hop artist is nothing but an actor. There's no different than when you watch a movie and you watch Sylvester Stallone play Rocky. Sylvester Stallone is not a boxer. He doesn't beat people up. We know that he's acting.
Right.
He could play a drug dealer. What's his name? To play Frank Lucas.
Wasn't that Denzel,
Denzel
Washington?
Washington.
Okay.
Denzel, yeah.
Now you've seen Denzel Washington play Frank Lucas. We've seen him play Malcolm X. We've seen him play Man on Fire. We've seen him play the Crooked Cop in Training Day.
Yep.
There's no way Denzel Washington is all of these people.
Right.
I'm saying in real life, it's no way. He can't be all of these people. Well, it is possible, but he's not. The same way with the actors. The difference is when I spoke about the parents in the home, when a child, and when we're saying inner city, a lot of times people think black, but it could be really a child of any race. But inner city is more considered your hood or your lower income neighborhood. The
Right.
thing is this, you don't have the adult authority there to listen with the child to say, hey, that's not real. Hey, don't do this. Hey, don't do that. You have the mother in the home by herself raising a child, which means when she's at work, maybe working 2 jobs, maybe working at 7, 8, 9 o'clock. I have a friend told me her mother, I remember the other day, she gets off at 8:00. Think about if she was raising children. If you're raising children and you get off at 8:00, your kids get home from school 4:00, 4:30. They're home 3.5, 4 hours a day by themselves. So a child who's 6, 7, 8 years old, and he has access to this music because it's all over YouTube. Back then, it was MTV The Box, or we had a little cassette tape, or you might have a friend with a big brother who's old enough to get the CD, and you can listen to it. There's not a parent there. I'm just using her work schedule as my example.
Mm-hmm.
So the kid gets home at 3:30, 4:00. There's no parent home until 8:30. Gets off at 8:00, 8:30. So for 4 hours, let's just say a 10-year-old, 11-year-old, 13-year-old is able to listen to this type of music. It's going to have a different effect on a child who's in a whole different culture.
Yeah.
So many people and I'm only saying this because we have a wide variation of audience.
Sure.
So there's somebody who's listening to this is like, no way. There's no way that could affect, because it didn't affect them. No, I listened to it. It didn't do shit. But then you're going to have someone else who says, hey, listen to this, and it made me want to go do this and this and that. Well, these are the reasons why. So yes, I definitely believe I believe it was by design. I believe that it was planned. Even artists who are considered conscious artists, people like Common, there's a lot of artists, and they speak positive. They talk about how they don't get the major record deals. And if they were to get the major record deals, this is what I would have to talk about. I would have to rap like this to get a major record deal. So we understand that it's definitely what sells.
So the question is does the lifestyle create the music, or does the music create the lifestyle?
I think there's a little bit of both, but
I'd say
I think definitely a lot of the
music creates the lifestyle.
Created the lifestyle.
So look, think back though just for a minute. Rewind it back to like maybe the 1940s and 50s. The music we had back then, like maybe the big band orchestras, the Frank Sinatras, Elvis Presley. What impact did that have on society then? And does that show case study that music really does influence, behavior, whether it's bad or good?
Well, everybody knows the story of the Pied Piper.
Yeah.
So music definitely affects people's actions. But this particular music, we're not, the reason why we're talking about this particular music is because this music promoted violence, gangs, drugs, prostitution, even what's her name, The Brat.
Yeah.
Everybody knows The Brat. She just recently had a baby.
What?
The Brat.
She's a
rapper. She's a rapper.
Oh,
she had a baby. Her and her female wife or whatever, they had a baby together. The Brat was impregnated at like 48, 50 years old. And the first thing she said was, she's always been gay. She's never been into men, is what she said herself. She said, however, at that time in the 90s when she was rapping, the music industry wanted her to promote being bisexual, like in men and women, because at the time, that's what they were promoting. See, there's always a world agenda, and then I believe the hip-hop plays a role in the world agenda. And at that time, you had HIV, they were killing us. You had HIV, you had all these different diseases, you had this. So they were promoting sex, you know what I mean? Telling the girls, let guys run trains on you. You had a lot of strippers. Stripping was a big thing for girls back then. Prostitution, big thing. It all went on, back then.
Yeah.
If you notice now, the same artists are more switching to the agenda. So you're starting to see more, I don't want to get into that subject, but what we usually,
no, it's okay because it makes sense.
You see more homosexuality in the culture of rap. You have guys that used to talk about, even Snoop Dogg. These dudes are dressing and wearing some weird shit.
Yeah. Like feminine shit?
Yeah. CeeLo from the Goody Mob. This man is dressing in a dress. When this man used to rap about how hot bullets burn. People don't dance no more. All they do is this.
So maybe artists have a really mind.
And it's definitely
they're getting paid to talk about.
They're getting paid to push whatever message
the agenda is.
For $1 million, would you wear a dress?
No, I'm not wearing a dress because that's just not what I.
For $1 million.
Nah,
for $10 million.
I'll fight Mike
$10
Tyson.
million.
I'll fight Mike Tyson. I don't see a reason that I have to do that.
Mike, would you for $10 million?
$10 million? Would I wear a dress?
Yeah.
What kind of dress? A sundress, an evening gown?
Well, you know, I'm not against it, but as leaders of the community, at some point, we have to say no. Like, I understand Tyler Perry and a lot of guys wearing dresses, but why they don't dress up white men in dresses? Why do white men? You don't see very many white men having to dress up in a dress and act like a woman.
We invented the kilt. But
I'm saying, far as in the music industry or the entertainment industry,
Brad Pitt, he's been wearing them.
You probably might want to, but I'm saying to get movie roles. Like, it's very popular. Like, you have successful men, Tyler Perry, Jamie Foxx, Martin Lawrence, Eddie Murphy, the Ivory brother, Wayans brothers. I was about to say Keenan Ivory brothers. The Wayans brothers, Sean and Marlon. I mean, this is what these people almost have to do all the time to become successful. But I believe I could understand it. I mean, you have to do what you got to do. But once they are successful, what is the reason to continue doing this? You can't say it's for the money.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But one thing I wanted to get back to is music influencing people. I think you see it in more than just hip hop music. Like, people who grow up and predominantly listen to country music, if you notice, they're a lot more patriotic. They're more likely to be Christian. They're more likely to be stronger as far as family goes. And I think that those are all things that are kind of promoted in the music that they listen to.
Right.
And then, you know, it's the same with all of the genres. Whether it's metal, whether it's emo punk music, I mean, it kind of molds the person that's listening to it.
I agree.
And I think that, you know, as long as you're involved in some diversity of what you're listening to, then you're going to be okay. Or as long as you're getting a different message. I think the problem with a lot of hip hop music is that a lot of kids grow up and that is the only thing they listen to from the time that they're 3 years old.
Right.
Like, I definitely had a ton of rap albums back in the day, but I also had a lot of R&B stuff, a lot of old classic soul stuff. My parents listened to the oldies, K-Love and all that. So, you know, it wasn't like that was my entire music diet.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. And you had the parents. That's the thing. You had
support
I
system.
remember your mom. I remember they didn't play. You know what I mean? Like, that's the difference. These things are going to have a different effect. It's just like if your son sees you or your child sees you and you're making bukus of money and you're living, you know, and you're telling them, hey, get up and do a podcast. This is how I'm a millionaire. That's something. But if you don't have that and you're barely making it and you're not around or your parents aren't around, and then you have this rapper or this artist whose life appears to be glamorous. You don't know the stuff they're doing behind the scenes. You don't know the penises they suck. No, I'm saying all that. You don't know about all that. You don't know that they have a drug addiction or that they really don't. Or you just know what you see. It's going to have a different type of effect. You get what and the people who plan this, they know that. They don't expect to get everybody. They don't expect for the whole world to destroy everybody. They just need to destroy some of the people. And so the lyrics definitely do it. And when JB asked us, you know, does the music dictate the lifestyle or does the lifestyle dictate the music? I believe that's yes to both.
Yeah.
It depends on the perspective. Someone that's established, that's an artist, yes, they're going to rap. It's going to be a lifestyle already established. And then they can sing or rap or whatever they do. And it's going to be the lifestyle that goes on. They watch the news. I rap about what I saw on the news.
Yeah.
But a person, like you say, that's high school, middle school, that's not fully developed socially or mentally up here in the mind, that still hasn't fully learned math, that still hasn't fully learned history, they haven't even gotten their high school diploma yet, they're going to more be affected by the music because they're not all the way stable here. And that's the big thing we have to realize is that we have people that are unstable listening to this music.
And I think
that's true.
Vicky Lynn makes a good point here, and we shouldn't overlook the fact that just, she said she did crack cocaine for 8 years and she didn't listen to hip hop and she didn't grow up in the ghetto, which I know all of that to be true. So, I mean, the crack cocaine, it affected people whether you were listening or not.
Right.
I guess what we're talking about now, and a lot of people who did listen, didn't end up selling crack cocaine. You're not going to listen to one Tupac song and then you're going to go out and do a drive-by.
Right.
But I still believe that, if you grow up listening to it, like,
it's going to affect you some way.
I like horror movies. I love horror movies. If I were watching nothing on TV but horror movies from the time I was 3 years old, I'd probably be pretty fucked up.
Mike, you are pretty.
Yeah, I was about to say, what happened exactly? It's funny. He was like, what? But hey, my first rap album was MC Hammer's, Can't Touch This.
Oh, yeah, that was the day.
Yes.
That was it. And I could tell you that there was a time I wanted to buy balloon pants.
Me and Carlos did.
Did y'all really have
Yeah, but we were before You Can't Touch This. We were Let's Get It Started.
Let's get it, yeah.
We used to, we got the pants. My mom either had somebody make them or wherever. And then we went to Payless, and you got the, what were the shoes, the dress shoes at Payless? They before first
Penny
were penny
loafers?
loafers, but after penny loafers, they had the little metal on the tip. But I'm talking about the brand. I don't remember the brand name.
Hush Puppies?
I can't remember, but they were basically like black dress shoes, and they had a little metal on the tip. Me and my little brother used to get up every Saturday morning. This before there was Let's Get It Started. It used to come on. Turn This Mother Out. You remember that?
Yes.
And we had the shades, and there was this thing called the box. See, the kids, if you're anybody listening now, you all have it made. You can get on YouTube and see a video. But back then, they were like 99 cents or something for the video.
Yeah.
And they didn't show it till somebody bought it. And you better not order shit on that damn TV at my house. That cable bill come, you're going to get your ass whooped.
Yeah.
So you literally had to sit there and watch and wait for somebody else across the country to order this video so you could see it. And you had to have your VCR set right there. So as soon as it hit, you could hit record.
Yeah.
So me and my brother would get up Saturday morning, clean up early. By 7 o'clock, we just in front of the box, waiting on MC Hammer.
I love it.
Let's get it started. And we could do the whole routine. Man, those were the best days of my life.
Man, the parachute pants, and I took it all the way back to the red Michael Jackson jacket, the beaded jacket
yeah.
with the
Without
zippers.
the zippers on it?
Yeah. I had that.
Yeah, I think I got jacked for one of those at school.
And my uncle had the black one.
Yeah, those were nice.
You know which band seems to be really impactful that rings a bell to me? I never listened to music. This stuff wasn't allowed in our house at all, so I was blinded to it. But it's NWA.
Yeah.
They had a big movement. They were really what's the word? Challenge authority.
Right.
Really political, but politically, what do you call it? Like politically inner city in a way. I don't know
Yeah.
how I'm trying to
Kind
articulate
of like a revolutionary movement.
Politically aware, yeah.
But there was a lot of riots, there was a lot of fights, and there was a lot of stuff
That's what was going on in California at the time.
Yeah, that was it.
A lot of rappers are just rapping about stuff that's actually going on.
Yeah.
So some of it is real. I mean, a lot of it is real.
Yeah.
The part what I'm saying about the fake, not real, is that when the children are thinking that like Lil Wayne, I mean, this guy can play all kinds of instruments. A piano, he can play a saxophone, he can play a guitar.
He's a musician.
Yeah, he's
Very
a musician.
talented guy.
You didn't learn that in the hood. There's no way. Like, you grew up poor and learned how to do all of that. Master P is freaking literate. He can bear. But he says he's a businessman. He didn't. The Jewish community funded this man.
Right.
This man has been funded by someone else
He's a product.
to get. Yeah, because it changed everybody. Now everybody thinks, oh, I can go sell my CDs out my car and I'm gonna get rich like Master P. There's no way that man, if you listen to him speak, that he's done all this stuff that he claims he did just from this. There's no way he beat a Fed case. He was a real drug dealer and beat a Fed case. Nobody's beat a freaking Fed case, but like, I don't even think Don King beat a Fed case. He did top. Like, who do you know that's really beat Fed cases? But Master P beat a Fed case. Oh yeah, right. Come on, this stuff's not. You know what I mean? It's not real. It's stories to look good so that somebody will think that, hey, I can do that too.
You're talking about a product. Yeah, no,
it's something they're selling.
But you're right about that.
It's not real. It's acting.
In the early days, though, I mean, they came out and they said that. I remember Dr. Dre personally saying, hey, this is all entertainment. This is like our jobs. If you're listening to what we're doing and you go out and try to do it, you're just stupid.
Yeah.
And, they were out in the open with that in the earlier 90s. Yeah. And then eventually we went from that to this whole keep it real motto to the point where the people you were listening to were felons, were drug dealers, and were doing all the things that they were talking about.
Yeah.
So it really went from acting and entertainment to, hey, we were actually in this life and we're promoting this life.
Yes.
It's interesting. But, there was influence, too. Like, there were some white rappers. Remember the Beastie Boys, back in the day?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Beastie Boys.
I first heard them on Die Hard.
Dude, Eminem.
Yeah, I definitely want to get into Eminem.
Eminem is a beast.
Yeah, Eminem was one of the coldest ones out
there. That's
why
I say it's not a lot of things we turn into black and white.
Yeah. Because
that's what we know on a lower level. But
right.
like I told you all before, you have your ethnicity, you have your regions where you're born, and you have culture. And that's it.
Yep.
It's like you the other day, I mean, it was kind of a joke, but he was like, he's a real black guy, like as if Mike wasn't. But what you really meant is like culture. No, but that's what I'm saying. There's really no such thing as something that's an American term used to divide people. Kobe Bryant, his dad played, I think, overseas. He grew up overseas in Europe. I believe that's where it was. I might be wrong.
Okay.
So in Europe where he was raised, there weren't children that looked like me. There weren't any. They were rich, wealthy people, and look at who he married. Yeah. He's not looking at her, and then you'll see certain people that may say, "Oh, he married a white woman." No, he married a woman from his culture. You get what I'm saying?
Why do you think I like black girls so much?
Well, I mean, I don't know, but it's culture. Yeah, but that's not really your culture. You got to.
I didn't say it's my culture. I'm saying.
But what I'm saying is it's culture. There's really no such thing as race. There's no such thing as a black man. That's a fucking color. There's no such thing as a black man. There's nowhere in the world do they say black man besides the United States of America. Then they call it a race, which means what? You're racing. You're competing. Yeah. It's a division. If you see, people don't get to go anywhere. Go to Germany. Go to Europe. They don't call us black people. They call you European. Or if you're from over here, they're going to call you American. Yeah. That's it. That's it.
Should I guess? I've never been black in Europe, so I can't tell you.
Even white, they don't call you white. What I'm saying is they just call you where you're from.
Yeah.
Only here do we divide people. So if we get to understand it, but what I'm saying is like it's not your race. It's like where you grew up. It's how you were influenced. It's the people you hung around. I listened to something called Church. It's a hip hop song. I was just listening to it last night, sharing with a friend. And I was sharing it with her son the other day, telling him to listen. It's real positive. I think it's by Slim Thug. Y'all look it up. But it has, I can't think of his name. He's a pastor. He's one of those white pastors. I can't remember his name. He's real popular. I think he's in Houston.
Joel Osteen?
Yeah, that's his name.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It has Joel Osteen like giving what's that called? Like an empowerment speech. He's speaking real positive
motivational.
Things. Yeah, like a motivational speech. He's speaking, and then the guy raps.
God does not want you to not be happy.
And then he raps some more. But one thing he says is, you want to know where you're going to be in 5 years? He says, look at your friends. Look at the people you hang around. Look at what they're doing. That's what you're going to be in 5 years, the people you hang around. And I believe that that's very important for us to understand. You know what I mean? So when we're listening to these lyrics and the things we're doing, or not us. I'm more speaking about the youth probably at this point because we're not going to be affected by this.
Yeah,
shit.
No.
But our daughters could. Our sons could. Yeah. Our children.
Yeah.
You could raise your son to be a certain way, and he could get to hanging with other kids and listen, and you could say, "Damn, how did that happen?" But I believe that it's important to understand that, like, it's not just the music, but the music does play a big role in it. So it's part of the overall.
Were you restrictive of what your daughter listened to? You mind me asking that?
Oh yeah. I didn't allow my daughter to listen to. Now she may have done, and we weren't either. The stuff that I was listening to Too Short, cuss words. I mean, it went song that started out like this: "Say how, yeah, you Can I ask you a question? You like the fun? Saw you walking down the street, and I had to stop. This song come out in 88, 87.
Damn.
I mean, but I had an older uncle. So you got to think, when my big mama's not at home, we're doing this. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
When she's at work, we got to take, hey, go get that out your car, put it in her.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of things that we do, it wasn't that our parents allowed us to do. So our children are the same way. Oh, no, I didn't allow my daughter to, and I didn't listen to this type of music with her in the car, not even R&B music, because R&B music is just as bad as far as some of the stuff it's discussing. Now, once she got older, more in high school, yeah, but I listen to it with her. I do things like, hey, let's play some of your music. And my little girl like Webby, and she gonna play Webby and jam. I more ask her, hey, what do you like about that? Hey, sing that song. Then she got to quote the lyrics, and she looking at me like,
You don't get in trouble.
Not even that she's not gonna get in trouble. It's more like in her spirit is telling her this is bad. That's why she doesn't. Because if you tell your child, I'm just gonna use this as an example because we don't do this either.
Right.
But the Pledge of Allegiance. Yeah. They're like, hey, a Pledge of Allegiance to. They're listening to some music, and you say, hey, sing that. They're not. That's their spirit telling them, hey, this ain't good. And if more parents took the time to do things like that, they would find their kids don't even like half this shit. They're listening to the beat and they're just doing something, you know? But when you're not there, it's just like sex. If you're there with your child to talk to them about sex, their outcome's going to be different than them learning about it from their friend at school or the dude on the corner, you know?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, I think that's the difference. So, I don't know.
Well, hey guys, you want to open up the phones and take a look at some of these comments?
Is somebody
going
to call?
Somebody ready to call? Then let's do it.
All right.
We've never taken calls before, so this will be first time.
This is our first time. This is an experiment. The number is 817-382-7012.
I can't wait. I'm going to shut up.
Hold on. What's it? Say again. 817
382
382
7012.
7012.
And it's actually on the screen where you're typing.
Oh, okay.
You see it right above?
So
where is it at? Oh, it's on the damn thing. Okay.
Yes. If you're watching this on YouTube, the phone number is right there on the screen.
Oh, there it is.
And we're going to try to do this. And
how do you hear it ring?
Is
it ring in your ear or something?
Our board op, Landon, will let us know if we get a call. And until then, let's take a look at some of these comments, man. A lot of people chimed in for this one.
Yeah, we've been talking about it. Oh, you know what? You just did a good thing, JB.
Yeah.
And she said, put it in the comments, and that's what he did.
Yeah, I did.
Back in the day, parents didn't talk. This is a different day and time. I think one thing that we have that is an advantage compared to what our parents and grandparents didn't have is that we can communicate with each other. We can all communicate with each other, and we do it regularly through the internet. Yeah, well, parents talk to their kids, but parents didn't really do a whole lot of networking with each other. I mean, there was some of it going around, but not to the extent that it is today.
What do you mean when you say parents didn't talk?
Network with each other, talk to other parents, or have those real communities where they could work with things together.
Oh, mine did. It was just you had to be in church.
Yeah.
They did a lot of, they did. And a lot of gossiping on the phone.
This is true.
About what we did wrong. Oh, man.
It's definitely my parents, too. And Ashley chimed in and said Lil Wayne went to a high school in the suburbs of New Orleans and claimed that he's a gangster. Yeah, it was definitely an act.
Yeah, I remember he was a blood and he was a Crip. And he kissed baby in the mouth. Man, no man kisses a man in the mouth. That's just a real hardcore dude. It's just certain things your spirit. My spirit would never let me kiss you in the mouth. I don't care. It's just certain things you. Yeah, they were just happy and excited about a award. It's like and, mwah. Like right
God,
there.
No, man, I'm out.
I mean, in most countries, most countries they'll kiss on the cheek, but the mouth.
Well, that's like a social.
Yeah, that's how I said in the mouth.
Ain't nobody.
I'm talking about
kissing me on the cheek either, though.
Yeah, bumps and all. Certain things you just wouldn't do.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
I wouldn't do it.
Misty says y'all need to listen to Tom McDonald. Have you ever heard of Tom McDonald?
Why, yes, Jeremy.
No, I've heard of Ronald McDonald. I know what a Big Mac and a clown is. That's about as far as I go. No, who's Tom?
A good clip.
Sorry, man.
Yeah, man. I don't know, y'all. We're at our hour. I don't.
Yeah, looks like it's about time to wrap up.
Man, I think if you do calls, you gotta schedule people to call. That's what I always do.
No, we'll get it. Man, people get used to knowing.
Yeah, it takes time. This is our first time, so
and don't be nervous. A lot of people are shy to call. They'll comment all day, but if you say call, a lot of people are nervous, man.
They're scared to do it.
Yeah, they're scared. Don't be scared.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hey guys, let's take a break. He's a white political rapper.
Hey, Misty, thank you for that.
He talks about a lot of the same things that we talked about here. Hey,
Vicky Lynn says she'll call next time. Hey, next time is going to be in a few minutes because we're about to record the next show after this.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, so we're going to take a break and we're going to wrap this one up. And when we come back, we are going to talk about obesity and fat shaming.
Hold on a second. Let's see.
Oh, Missy says she tried to call.
Yeah, let's see if we can figure it out. This is a good test for us, Misty. Thank you for helping us because we've never taken calls yet. So,
yeah.
Did it ring? Landon, did it come in? We're trying to figure it out.
It should light up.
You wanna help? You wanna try to help him or what?
Okay.
Do what? Well, hold on. She says
everybody has her phone sitting here.
Let me do it again. Hold on.
Well, while we're getting the phone lines, I'm gonna sing a song. I'm gonna do a rap.
Let's hear it. You want a beat?
My name is Jab, as you can see. I'm sitting on the podcast with JB. I'm drinking on some Dr. Pepper, sugar free. Look into the camera on your screen, that's me. Just stupid.
Shit, I drop a beat over here now. It's a human beatboxer.
Yeah, man, that was a bar. That was a bar. One bar. I need 15 more to make a song.
No doubt.
No, y'all can rap for real if I wanted to. I just don't do this. I don't know. We all could rap. If you listen to Swish House, anybody could do that. Like that was just you just had to make stuff wrong.
Should go get my guitar, man. I'll play y'all some real song. We can rap. We play a melody rap.
I'll sing then.
That would be funny.
I really want to sing. I just can't sing.
You do?
When I get drunk, I sound real good.
I bet you do. Shit, we all sound better when we get a little something in us.
Yeah,
we at least think we do.
You want to rap?
We think we sound better. I don't want to rap.
So we gotta,
but I want to wrap it up.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up.
Oh, getting a call?
All right,
go ahead and take it.
Let's take
What's
it.
up, caller? Yeah. Hello. Hey, what's going on?
You're our first caller.
Welcome to Gen X Talk.
Hey, just so you know, you're breaking our call cherry. Thank you.
Popping our cherry.
That's what I was trying to do.
Now you're helping us out. Now, is this Misty?
No, this is Amy.
Amy, my bad.
What's up, Amy?
Nice meeting you. Talking to you.
Nice meeting you too.
Somebody says can't hear. Vicky, are you saying you can't hear the caller or you can't hear us?
We're learning here. We can hear. I can hear pretty good.
We can hear her. Somebody.
Yeah, we'll have to.
Anyway, go ahead with your call. How are you? Let's hear what she has to say.
Right, let me just run the show real quick.
Do it. Do it. What's on your mind? Did you want to talk about?
I just wanted to call to test those lines. I'm interested in your next show topic. Let's hear that one.
We're talking about a supersized dive into obesity and fat shaming. Something that we're all a little bit familiar with over here, especially me. So this will be a fun topic. And thank you for your call. All right, guys. We're going to take a...
Okay.
Thanks, Amy.
Bye, Amy.